Guys, I brought you outside today. I'm standing in front of my fig tree that's in my yard. I love this tree. Every time I look at it, I think of Jesus and the parable of the fig tree, and I just think about, what's going on in the world and the signs of his second coming, pretty much, and I just love it. I often wonder, though, if Jesus even liked figs. I don't know. This tree has given so many figs this year. Bags I have given to my mom because she freezes them and she makes jelly and stuff. But honestly, I don't like figs. I tried them, like they're okay, but I don't really like them. But that doesn't matter. I love this tree. And it actually was poisoned earlier this year. The crop dusters came through and they poisoned it really bad, and it was looking rough. There was some of the leaves, you can still even tell they've got black dots all over them and everything, and it looked like it was going to die. So I prayed over it. And a few weeks after I prayed over this tree and other trees in my yard, they snapped out of it. And like I said, all of a sudden it had little baby figs all over it. And they just kept coming, and I felt so blessed that God had touched really everything in my yard, because everything is healthy now. The pecan trees, the oak tree, everything is good. The reason, though, I want to talk to you today is I want to tell you something that happened the other night in church. A little bit about me. I don't really trust a lot of people. I don't trust a lot of situations. Mosquito. I just question everything. But I was in church, and the Spirit talks about confirming, trying the spirits, discerning spirits. And I just always, think about that. It's always in the back of my head. But the church that I go to, I really love it. I love the people. I trust the people. I feel the people. And I haven't had any, bad experiences or anything like that. I've only been going to this church, I think it's been like 4 months or something like that. I was going to another church before, but it was a farther. I found a closer church. I really, really prayed about it. I really prayed about it because I'm not trying to, hop around all these different churches. But I did start going to this church, and I really love it. So the other night, it was Sunday night. It started off like a regular, Sunday night church service. But you know what? I take that back. It was Sunday morning. It was a morning service. So we all, we show up to church and we sing our songs. But then the pastor said, and usually, we'll sing and he'll pray or whatever, and then testimonies, stuff like that, and then the kids are sent to their Sunday school rooms, and then he preaches. But that morning was so different. After we sang and everything, he said, he started to pray, and he asked that God would move on the church. I think, you know what, these bugs. Something doesn't want me to tell you this story. But, so he says that he asked, for a move of God that morning in church. So some people went to the altar, and some people were praying, and people were kind of doing their own thing. Like I stayed in my seat. I was standing up, but I didn't, I just kind of had my head down. I was just kind of watching and just in my own moments, and other people were in theirs, But then one of the sisters she came and stood beside me, and she put her arm around my waist, and she was praying in the Spirit. And all of us, out of nowhere, I started to feel God. I myself started to shake a little bit, and then I started to pray, and then I started to pray in the Spirit with her, and I got, for the Spirit may hit people differently, but I think about it like this, God's voice is a still, small voice, and it's a quiet voice, and, all that, but it also says that His voice is like many waters, and Mount Sinai was on fire and trembling, and the Israelites were terrified. So God can come in different ways. He's still who He is. But some people may not experience this, I don't know, I want to say the true power of God. Like some people, I'm not saying they're not Christians, I'm just saying they're just kind of more quiet about it, and God hasn't really hit them yet. So, she was praying with me and everything, and I started to get very unstable. Like I started to walk backward, and she had hold of me, and I kind of had hold of her, and she was praying, and then I was praying, and everything, and finally, after a few minutes, it was a while, she walked, I don't know where she went, but she let go of me, or maybe she was with me when I got to the altar, but I ended up at the altar, and she went somewhere else, and all the the men were praying, and the women were praying, just everybody was praying. There were still some people in their seats. But this is what I want to share with you. This is what happened, and I just want to I just want to express to you what this felt like. So I'm up at the altar and I'm doing my thing, and there's women that the lady that plays the piano, she was still on the piano bench, and there were ladies that had kind of surrounded her, and I every now and again would kind of, I was just aware of what was going on. Like I wasn't in a tunnel where I couldn't see. I would every now and again just kind of glance over. Something would get my attention or something, but I was still focused on Him. And I happened to look over, and one of the sisters was like flat on her back, man. She was slain. She was on her back. And the lady that was praying with me was beside her, like praying over her. And now, the reason I started this video saying like I don't really trust a lot of people, I don't trust situations, because a lot of Christians are faking. I'm going to let this truck go. They do. They're on TV and they're on stages, and they're falling out, and they're doing a lot of this stuff is entertainment. A lot of this stuff, I'm not saying all of them, but a lot of them just want money, and they're doing this stuff for show. And I had never been in a service. I've seen God move before, but I've never seen what I saw Sunday. So I see her on the floor, and I continued doing what I was doing. But then I really went to look at her. Like I knew she was there, but I didn't really look at her face or anything. So this time, though, I did. And I started to turn my head to look at her. I've never seen this before. Never. Her face was so bright. Like I even like squinted. It caught me off guard. I thought I was just gonna look at her, but I looked down and she had this, I don't even want to say glow. She just had, it was like, okay, remember when Moses came down from Mount Sinai and he was like a light bulb? I looked down at her and I squinted because her face was so bright. Like I almost couldn't right away look directly at her. It was like my eyes weren't ready. And then I looked again and I like really, I guess it maybe toned down a bit, or I just was able to look at her, and her lips were moving. It was almost like she was silently praying, to herself or whatever. But I just looked at that, and she like her arms were just to the side, her legs were she was just laying there. And okay, I believed it. Like I said, usually when I see certain things, I question it, and okay. But when I saw her face, that was for real. I've never seen that before. That was something else. So I stopped looking at her, and I'm doing my thing. And then a few minutes later, I looked over toward where the ladies were around the pianos, Sister Sue. And they were around her and stuff, and everybody was just praying. There was a particular lady that goes, that goes to my church. And she's very meek. She's very slender. She's very tall. Her hair is like past her knees. She's a mother of 2 boys. She's just, I don't know. She's just like a quieter. I looked over, and they were all praying and stuff. And out of nowhere, this sister, she just fell to her knees. And it was kind of a moment that you wouldn't expect from her. I don't know her. Like I said, I'm new to this church. I'm new to these people. I watch and I listen and I just take it all in and everything every day. But she went down and she was just crying. Not like, ooh, not that. She went down to her knees, like in her own world, and tears were she was just crying. And the minute I looked at her, the second I looked at her, it hit me like this rush. It's almost whatever had her hit me, and it was an instant love of God, what's the word? Admonition, to admonish him, I think, to just be in his presence. Again, he made the trees and he made the pretty flowers and all the stuff. God he is like all powerful. He is the Almighty. Like he speaks universes into existence. Bam! Let there be light. Bam! Who does that? He is beyond anything that we can comprehend. And it hit me. And I just felt like I just started to cry myself. If an outsider had looked in, they would think that I was mimicking her, or mocking her, or just trying to do what she was doing or whatever. Nah, whatever she had came over and hit me, and I just lost it within my own self, and I hit my knees. And the next thing I know, I wasn't laid out, but I was like sitting on my butt with my feet to the side. I was on the floor and tears were streaming. I probably was ugly crying, no doubt. But it was just just an extreme sensation of the magnitude of God. And I thought about, I think in that moment, I laughed. I laughed to myself, and I was thinking, one by one, bam, bam, he was laying us out. God is not playing. He's not weak. He ain't no joke. He moved on that crowd, and one by one, boom, 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 we were falling. We were falling to be in the full presence of his power. You have no idea. None. Just to worship him and just to be a part of that family of God. To say genuinely that you are one of the children of light. It was absolutely amazing. You know, God is so patient. Look at us today, the church. We're so separated. All we do is fight. Don't do this, do this. Just stop. Just stop. You know what? I'm going to tell you. Say what you want to say. I had a pair of pants on. People say, the pants skirt. But I was going to work that day. I had my uniform on. God wasn't like, no, not you. You got pants on. Sit down, go. No. He didn't say that. He took hold of me just like he did everybody else, but especially those two. I was no different. He didn't separate me differently. He knew my heart, and he knew my purpose. And he moved on me just like he did all of them. I was on the floor just like they were. Yes, I'll talk about holiness. Yes, I talk about standards. Yes. But stop putting people in hell before God even judges them. If it was up to us, everybody would be in hell. You lied. Bye. You did this. Bye. Let's remember what we've done. And let him be the judge. It is our duty to love each other, teach each other, but do these things in him. Always seek him. He'll give you the answers. We need to put God first, and everything else will follow behind. So I just wanted to share that with you, and thank you for listening. So I'll see you later.